Good morning, soccer fans. We hope you got your cup filled with some tea because our cup of tea is ready to speak all things WOSO with you. My name is Megan Warner and I'm here with my co-host, Harlie Ford. Harlie, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Happy to be here after we just braved a tropical storm. The Ice Queen Elsa, who actually was supposed to be pretty bad, and it was fine. It was just really noisy for like an hour last night. And, we're here. We're good to go. I have Wi-Fi, I got power. Ready to talk about women's soccer.
Yeah, we did survive. Thank goodness. So let's start the show by spilling the tea with the latest and greatest in women's soccer. So the UWS is really proud to announce that they are a sponsor of the Oregon Women's Open Cup, with the semifinals taking place tonight, which you can catch on 11 Sports. You've got Eugene Timbers taking on Capital FC Atletica at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then on the west side, you've got Timbers playing Oregon Valley FC at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So it's going to be an exciting evening. Really awesome for the UWS to be getting involved in the Oregon Women's Open Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super cool. I mean, what a venue. I mean, the scale of soccer. I'm excited to be able to watch those games. And, I mean, they should be streaming, so
Streaming on 11 Sports. So
yeah.
That's where all the UWS are found. So everybody should be able to jump on there and catch some matches tonight. And
Yeah,
speaking of some games that were on 11 Sports, we had the first Canadian matchup in the UWS, known by Jonathan Ward calling it the Canadian Classico. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's very catchy. John comes up with good names.
He does. So we had Impact FC versus Foothills, and let me tell you, the crowd was huge. Everybody turned out. Canadians had obviously missed their soccer, and they came out to a great game where Impact were victorious 1-0 over Foothills.
Yeah, Meg, you showed me the picture of it, and it just like blew my mind. First off, it's like a tiered sitting situation. So there's two levels of like viewers, spectators, and it was packed to the brim. I'm sure that on the other side of the field, all surrounding it, there were people standing there ready to watch this game. And it's something that I have so desperately missed, like as being a part of soccer. It was great to see the U.S. Women's National Team have such a huge showing for their game against Mexico, and then also just the fact that like everywhere people are coming out and watching soccer again because they can, and it's very empowering to like step on a field and know that there are people there cheering for you.
Yeah, definitely. It just adds that next level when you walk out onto the field to play that game and you've got all these people watching you. They've come out, they're expecting a show, and it just gets you even more hyped up to play.
Yeah. I'm waiting for people to bring drum to our games. I'm waiting on that one.
More UWS news. Last night we had a great game between FC Buffalo and Syracuse DA. Harlie, why don't you tell us why you have a sad face?
Because they lost, and it was a really important game. But they only lost, but it was one goal. And we were talking before we came on the show. It's just like, it just seemed like they did everything that they were supposed to do, and it just, the ball never found the back of the net. I mean, sometimes that's how it goes. You can play the best soccer that you've played in your entire life and still not win a game. You can play the worst soccer you've ever played and somehow win a game. Not that Syracuse played a bad game. Like they did the right things to secure that win. But it does break my heart a little bit. It was a very important game, but
that game they could have secured that playoff position, and I do truly believe that they have secured it. I perceive them to be a playoff team 100%. They've got such great quality that it's almost surprising that last night they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. But like you said, sometimes it just happens like that. It's not connecting in that final third, and it takes goals to win. You can play great, but if you can't put the ball in the back of the net, there's something that's not quite right.
Yeah, you're missing a connection. And also, if anyone was following the game on Twitter or trying to watch a stream, the weather was like not helping at all, like whatsoever. They had weather delay, like the weather during the game was tough. And it's something that, we just recently experienced. Like we were supposed to have practice yesterday, but there's a gigantic tropical storm off the coast of Florida. So, it's just you're kind of at the will of Mother Nature sometimes, and it's tough to play good soccer when circumstances like that exist. So, but I have faith in them. They'll
definitely. We've played in some monsoons at practice. They definitely will. We've played in some monsoons ourselves, and it definitely makes the game a completely different ball game. Like, you have to adjust, and I guess Syracuse were able to do that a little bit better on the night, and so we see a 1-0 loss for FC Buffalo. But I think that's just testament to the East Conference. Anything can happen in that conference because you've got such great teams, 13 teams in one conference. It's super exciting for us as fans to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the talent up there is next level. Like, oh man, oh man, it's crazy.
And then another playoff battle to keep a close eye on is the Southwest. Now, Lone Star Republic, San Antonio have both secured their playoff spots, but the next two spots are up for grabs. And this is a battle to keep an eye on because results are going a lot of different ways. We're seeing some big score lines and then some small score lines. And I just don't know who these next two spots are going to be. And I'm still hoping for FC Austin Elite because I put them in my top 4 at the beginning of this season. So it's all to play for.
Yeah, and we consider as part of Unity, FC Austin Elite is like our sisters in soccer. So I know what that team has been trying to do. I know what the organization has been putting into those athletes to try and put a good performance out on the field, and it would be really great to see all their hard work rewarded with a playoff spot. So I really, really hope that they're able to pull this off. They're a wonderful organization, and Danny Woodfield, you're a great guy.
And then let's move on over into the NWSL. Now, we've seen some pretty big news come out of the NWSL this week, haven't we, Harlie?
Oh man. Yes, we have. It's almost it's historical in nature, which is really crazy to think about because it has to involve a 15-year-old kid. Like, oh, just making history in 15. Yeah, so if you want to talk more about it, Megan.
Yeah, so Olivia Moultrie, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, made her debut for the Portland Thorns in the NWSL at the young age of 15, making her the youngest player to play in the NWSL history. That was in the 82nd minute. She came on in their match versus Racing Louisville, and they won 2-0. So, I mean, what a way to debut. Getting that win, coming on in the 82nd minute, that gives her a solid bit of time to come in. Sometimes managers are making subs in the 89th, and it's sort of like, okay.
Yeah, you get 60 seconds.
Step on that field. But, she actually had a chance to kind of get some involvement and really absorb that atmosphere and just, wow, what an opportunity.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I think my favorite, her being able to play is amazing, but my favorite part of, her getting into that game was when she subbed. She was on the line, ready to go, revving, and she was about to take off, and she had to stop for a second to come back. I was like, yeah, I mean, me too.
I feel you. That would be me too.
Yeah, that was so cute. And then she got out there, you're surrounded by players who have years and years of experience on you, and to stand out there and be brave and do something that everybody was looking after and trying to see if this is, if the NWSL made the right choice of letting her in. And I think she did a very good job. And I think that also speaks volumes to, what level of soccer exists in this country, and, to bar athletes from playing at the highest level they can on the basis of age is a little bit difficult. I understand it's a very, very complicated issue, but I'm really, really excited to see what she's able to do, and also what ground this breaks for youth going forward. Because there's such a sharp distinction between youth soccer and then moving into college and then moving into the pros. There's no inclusion between those lines. After you graduate high school, you're an adult. Going into the professional level, it's you either get to choose pro or you get to be a college player. And so, knowing that there's maybe a little bit more of a blend here makes me think that we could also start combining the developmental part of soccer more into U.S. soccer, because there's such a divide. It's very difficult to try and develop something when you're barring these athletes from playing as well as they can at the highest level.
Yeah, exactly. Ultimately, in order for the game to develop, we need to encourage players to be able to play at the best level that they can. And for somebody like Olivia to be like, oh, I don't want to play in the NWSL because I want to go to college, and you've got that I don't want to lose my eligibility sort of thing hanging over you, it makes decisions like these a lot tougher. And seeing people and making moves and having the NWSL allow a 15-year-old to play, it's just opening up more doors in the future, and I think that's a really exciting thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited. And we were talking about this as well before the show. I do think that we're going to see some more distinctive rules set for the types of players that are able to enter the NWSL. But again, it's breaking ground, and Olivia's she's doing that. She's making history, and that's such a tremendous responsibility, but also something that's so wonderful. And I wish her all the best, all the best.
Definitely. And then we also had the US women's national team playing, and I know, Harlie, you were very excited about this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was an incredible game. The U.S. It was their last game before they're sent off. Their farewell. We're going off, doing it for real this time. And they just absolutely rocked that game. I mean, the energy of the crowd was amazing. The energy of the team was amazing. They had 71% possession of the game, which is just astronomical. Like, I've played in a couple of games like that where it's a little lopsided on both ends. Like, I've been on the side of 30% and I've been on the side of 70%. Like, games like that are so hard. And it was really, really great. They had so much chemistry working. They had so many wonderful plays to build up into these great attacks. It was truly a beautiful game of soccer. And I think it's a very strong performance to go into the Olympics, as we're going to see here soon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could not ask for a better send-off. 4-0 win, solid play. Like, take away the scoreline, just going in with the confidence that this team has. They know where each other's going to be. They know their movements. They're definitely, I mean, we knew this before this match, but they are one to watch this tournament. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Not even a question. And they just every time, it's just like this question of like raising the game, and the rest of the world is catching up to the U.S. women's national team, and they take that in stride. They said, okay, you're taking a step with us, we're going to take 3 steps ahead. We're going to just keep raising the bar every single time, which is really great. But the score was 4-0. However, this is something that we talked about is it definitely could have been a 5-0 game if anyone was watching it or they saw on Twitter. In the 12th minute, Kristen Press scored a goal, but it was taken back, and it was the most incredible buildup of play that I think I've ever seen. It was one-touch passes all the way from the defensive third up into the final third. It was just this combination of playing the way that you face, playing. It's not like we talk about this all the time. It's just like it's simple soccer. You don't have to make things so complicated. If you have good, solid passes, if you have a great foundation, you can build up into something that leaves you breathless. And that was it was amazing. So the fact that like it led up into that, it led into one of the most, the prettiest goal that you could ever hope for. Like, it was just everything. It was the beautiful game. And then it was called back.
Yeah. That is gutting. I mean, let's take a look at this game, Harlie, and you can talk us through this goal and why it was just so beautiful.
Yeah, so here we go. We're starting in the back. We're in the defensive third. And look at this. One touch. We're finding those spaces. We're pass moving. It's incredible. You get a second touch through here comes Kristen Press, right around the keeper. I mean, are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But, apparently, like in the game, like they thought maybe it was called offsides, like that's what transpired. But I guess after the game, the refs had like talked to the head coach, and it came out that it was called back because the ref had an accidental whistle during the play.
He was so excited about watching this that he was like, yeah, and forgot that he was not a crowd with the whistle.
Yeah, it just reminds me of our game. We just played our last game against Jacksonville FC, and during that game, Megan, you had a beautiful goal that was called back in like the middle of it. Like the ref called for a PK, he blew his whistle as loud and proud as he could. You had just sunk that ball into the back of the net. It was like pandemonium. We were like, "Are you kidding me?" That was like
Yeah.
one of the most tremendous
I
goals
was
Unity FC's ever had.
I was so mad and so confused. Like I didn't know why he was blowing the whistle, so I thought I was offside. So I'm like looking over at the linesman and I'm going like, no, like I'm not offside. The linesman doesn't have his flag up.
Impossible.
And then the ref's like, I called it. And I'm like, well, why are you calling it? Like the linesman called it. And then he puts the ball in the penalty spot and I'm still confused. And I'm just being all dramatic. And I'm like, I don't want a penalty. I want my goal.
I want my goal back.
Corey, one of our
did
teammates,
you see
she
that?
comes up to me and she's like, do you want to take the penalty? And honestly, like penalties are not my favorite thing. I mean, it definitely takes a special person to love penalties. But I was so mad. I was like, yes, I want it. Like, this is my goal. Like, I have to take this. And like, I didn't even have time to process
It was so fast.
the nerves of the penalty or anything like that. And
you like set that ball down and you were like, yeah. I'm gonna do this.
If I hadn't have scored that penalty, that referee, oh my goodness, like he does not know what was coming for him.
Yeah, oh my God. I mean, like, it was the most obnoxious thing I think I've ever seen happen. I'm so happy you scored because, like, not only like on the field, we were all like, what's going on, but our sideline was losing their mind. And like, I was very afraid about the state of our coaching staff not being able to finish the game with us.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad that I was so absorbed in my own emotions that like I didn't have time to feel the pressure of the coaching staff, like that I had to score that penalty because
yeah,
you
were just like, it was not even a question. You went up there, you're like, this is my goal. Easy peasy. I want it. Give it back to me. But speaking of like, UWS and what we've done, Megan, we are in the midst of the summer of soccer. Such a beautiful term that has been coined.
Yes.
Very, very impressed by it.
This term, we were on the UWS kickoff show and like I was just talking and I was like, it's the summer of soccer, like thinking about all this incredible soccer that is just surrounding us, at every single level, not just in the UWS, but we have like the Olympics going on. Like there's just so much soccer around that I was like, summer of soccer, and we turned it into a hashtag and it stuck and it's just become this amazing thing. And every week we talk about this summer of soccer. Basically every day on my Twitter, I'm talking about it. And it's just amazing to see so many teams be involved, so many people be involved, so many like accounts are loving the summer of soccer all the time, tweeting about things and getting involved in every single way. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's truly wonderful. You started something super, super cool, Megan. Like I'm so very impressed. And like being a part of it, like we're playing in it. We're in the thick of it. Like it's something that, we've taken in stride and done everything that we can to uplift ourselves during this summer of soccer.
We've got
and
team coming in about
It's true. But yeah, I just being a part of it is something that's also like, besides it being so fun and so rewarding, and it's also something that's like very, very difficult at times. It takes a lot of commitment to try and make this work. It's not something that's willy-nilly, like going to the beach, make it happen. It's something that takes hard work every single day from every single part of the organization. I mean, just in our experience in UWS too, we operate it as strong as we can with the most professional level and quality that we could hope to achieve. We're training, we get to train twice a week. We'd like to train more. It's a little bit difficult because Polk County is not the best area sometimes to get people to travel to. Everything's very spaced out. But like with our team, with the other organizations, like every single component has to work together from management down to even the ball girls that show up, like everything has to work together to pull off a game, and it's incredible to see it come unfold in this way, and such glorious soccer. We've had so many wonderful moments of truly pristine soccer. It's some moments that remind me of that goal that Kristen Press had called back. I mean, I don't know if you can agree to that, Meg.
It's coming. It's definitely coming. And yeah, I mean, it's just amazing that, the summer of soccer is just such an incredible opportunity for people across the world to get involved in the game. But there is this kind of big operation going on behind this hashtag that a lot of people don't realize. For us, we train twice a week. Other teams, 3 times a week. Some teams 5 times a week. It's
Right.
a huge commitment for these players. And, some of them are in different stages of their lives. So they're not just there to play. They have a job on the side, or they have a full-time job, or they're doing summer classes. And there's so much to balance being a part of the summer of soccer. It's unfortunately, I know everybody would love to just play soccer, but in the place that we are at, a lot of us have other things going on, which makes it such a huge commitment. And it really does show the true passion of players in America to be able to play in the UWS and balance everything else that they have going on.
Yeah, I think that's why it's so important to, give a platform and recognize like the grassroots soccer movement, especially on the women's side, because it's not easy, it's not easy at all. There's so many sacrifices that have to be made. I mean, a lot of the players on our team, like they're mothers, they have children that they have to take care of, and it's something that, you have to balance, like being a full-time mom or being just like a full-time family member in general. Trying to figure out how to have an income that can support your passion, because like at our level, we're not getting paid to do this. We're doing this because we love the game. um, and then also trying to find time to also be a full-time athlete so that you can raise your level to the competition around you. A lot of teams that we're playing, like at least like with Unity, we have more of like a homegrown operation. We have pieces and parts coming together from all different walks of life. But some of the organizations that we do play, like these girls are coming straight out of college, and they're using the summer of soccer as a way to stay fit, to stay sharp in the game. And they're coming straight off of, these D1 rosters where all they know is like live, breathe, eat soccer. So I mean, it's very interesting to see like these different dynamic forces like appearing in our league. And if Katie was here, I'm sure she would say the same about like her experiences over in San Antonio.
Yeah, definitely. There's such an incredible purpose behind the summer of soccer, and we see it for so many different people. It is providing them a different opportunity to develop. So you have, people in the high school age who are preparing for that next step to go into college, or maybe they are still in high school and they have another year in high school, but this summer of soccer gives them that opportunity to play amongst players who are playing or have played in college. And so it's amazing for their own growth, but also to help them build their network and connect with players who are playing at schools. And maybe you develop an incredible connection with somebody on the field who goes to a school, and that could then lead for you getting a scholarship opportunity to continue playing at that university. So it has such an incredible purpose for high schoolers. But then, you've got your JUCO players who might be looking to move on. Again, they can use that as an opportunity to showcase themselves. College players, like you said, they're preparing for that next season. And there is no better way to prepare for preseason than playing a summer league. And so many people, they're so concerned about the fitness tests in preseason that they're like 2-3 months of summer is running yo-yo tests, is running field sprints, is going to the gym and lifting. And they almost forget how important it is to have ball touches, because if you don't pass the fitness test, you maybe don't get to play. Like that's a rule at some colleges. So understandably, people are extremely concerned about being at, level 17 on the beat test in order to play. But maybe we need to place a little bit more emphasis on the ball touches and playing for a summer team is such a great combination of the two, because if you're playing 90 minutes week in, week out, training 2-3 times, maybe even 5 times a week, your fitness is going up, but also your ball touches are going up. And that's the real key to developing within the sport.
Yeah, conditioning while on the ball is like second to none the best way to stay fit. It's just when you're trying to do like cardio on your own, when you're just doing straight up running, it doesn't really reflect how the game operates when you step onto it. It's not just we talk about this a lot, like interval training is so important because you never get from like point A to point B in soccer in a straight line. There's sprinting, there's running, there's jogging, sometimes there's walking, like it happens. So being able to condition while having a ball at your feet, training in those conditions where it's keeping your soccer IQ very sharp, and you're ready to step onto a field. That's something that being a part of the UWS league, it's so rewarding, especially knowing that like we do have college players on our team, and other teams in our league are filled with them. They have a bounty of college players. Like it's very rewarding, and it also like it kind of goes back to like what we've seen with Olivia getting into the NWSL South. Like she's breaking ground. She is the first person to be that age and be at that level in the US, and that's something that kind of like has been barred for a lot of younger athletes. And so finding grassroots soccer as a way to maintain like their skills of soccer, to maintain their fitness, these are just really really key details that get to unfold because of this league and what we're doing here in the summer of soccer. So it's very, very cool to see like how many different levels of experience are coming out. It's like every walk of life is out there on that field, and it's very, very, very cool to be a part of something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And, a group that we haven't quite talked about is those post-grad players who they finished college and they want to continue playing. Yeah, like we do. We want to continue playing. And, sometimes you've played professional and you love that experience and you want to continue playing, but maybe not something that's quite as full time. Or maybe you've come out of college and you haven't quite made it to that professional level, but that doesn't mean you want to retire. I know so many people who are finished college and they're like, yeah, I'm retired. And then I know so many people who are like, I'm retired, but I don't want to be. Like, I want to keep playing. And they're playing in these indoor leagues and co-ed leagues. And while they love those, they miss that like immersed competitive environment where they're doing something with a true purpose, training with their teammates and, traveling to matches, and that whole experience that being on a team provides. And that's what the summer of soccer is providing for so many people, especially, Katie as well, like the hosts of this show. We are in that kind of stage of life where we still want to play at a high level, and that is what the UWS can provide for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in a lot of ways, I think that UWS has been able to give female soccer players like more control over the choices they make with their career. It gives us a sense of purpose, and also a lot of autonomy in like deciding when and where we're going to finish our careers. Because like even 2-3 years ago, it was really, really difficult to figure out how to even continue playing 11v11 on a full field. Like I was playing indoor as much as I could, playing like 66, and I was playing like futsal. I was on these little little hockey rink indoor facilities where you're slamming into walls and doing your best. But it was a resounding theme that I experienced talking to like other players in those environments of there was just no soccer to play. Like a lot of the women that I was playing with in those leagues, they didn't have anywhere else to go. They were playing indoor because that's what they had. They didn't make it to pro. They graduated college, and life took them in other directions. And more than anything, they wanted to be able to step back onto like a full-size pitch again. And that's what this summer especially has been able to do for us. And I think like it definitely could have started last year as well, but COVID kind of took over stuff, and it was very difficult. Like we got to play one game last year, which was really, really difficult.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're building the bones back up this year, and those bones are so strong this year. And it's just so amazing to be a part of this movement, being a part of something that's giving so many athletes the opportunity to keep playing as long as they can. Like, that's all I want to do. I want to play for as long as I can, because it's just, you know, you only have it for so long. And it just, you know, I'm very, very grateful to be a part of the Summer of Soccer.
Yeah, and let's kind of round this, like talk about the summer of soccer up with, without summer leagues in America, how important is that for the US to be able to compete with leagues all around the world that are playing year round?
Right.
For me,
I mean, it's just,
go ahead.
yeah. I mean, that's a great question. You know, if there's this empty space between, you know, the fall and winter months, and, you know, you have this gap of 3 to 4 months where nobody's playing soccer. I mean, it's just, how are you supposed to raise that level to everybody around you? You know, how are you supposed to develop athletes? How are you supposed to stay fit? How are you supposed to learn different things about the game? It's so critical to keep athletes moving as long as they can throughout the entire year, and being able to do that through the summer months is so important. I mean, I'm sure you can experience, like, agree to that, Megan. Like, you've played internationally, like.
Yeah, somebody who's kind of come from, you know, the European side of things, where the season is so long that it was really odd to me coming to America at the age of 18, and I kind of didn't really realize just how short the season was in terms of the competitive amount of time that you're playing in that conference. So, you know, you come to preseason in August, and essentially by November, you're pretty much done. Maybe early December if you're making all the way to nationals, but you know, that's only a select few teams. And if your season is cut short, you could be done as early as like the end of October potentially. Right. Which is just crazy. I mean, spring is important and it's great because, you know, you get to focus more in the weight room and build connection off the field, and you play a few friendlies and like exhibition matches. But ultimately, in order to compete with leagues in Europe that are playing year round, I think that the summer of soccer is so important and crucial in order for the development of these players, because they're getting in, you know, we're on week 10 right now of the UWS, and players have not played 10 matches. They have played more than 10 matches because we've got midweek matches, you've got double headers. Like, these girls are getting in a lot of soccer, and on top of that, practice, and that is so crucial for their development when at college, you know, they're only playing for that short amount of time. So for me, I am such an advocate of summer leagues because I think it's vital in order for the US to grow and develop within soccer. You know, right now the national team is really leading the way, and like we spoke about earlier, everybody's kind of trying to catch up to them. And if summer leagues are not continued to be promoted and aren't getting the attention that they need and the financial support that they need, then I think we could see other countries catching up a lot quicker than the US might expect.
Yeah, I would agree to that. And also, I just, as like one last point on it, I just thinking about it. I think something that's really unique about summer leagues is that it makes soccer more accessible. Because it's not barred from any athlete. Like, you can have, I mean, we had a couple girls come out to our training sessions who were 14 years old. You know, they've never played at that kind of pace before, and that was something that they got to experience because, like, there's no bar on that. And then we also have someone who's in her 40s on our team. You know, like the age range and the age, like, it's amazing, and it's so accessible to so many athletes. And also, like, if someone is in an economic situation where they can't go to college, we've had a couple players where, like, they got a scholarship to go to college, but still, like, it wasn't enough. You know, it wasn't enough to sustain that choice of a soccer career, but they're able to stick around and still play because of what the league has brought to, you know, American soccer. So I'm so proud that it's like we're part of something that is so accessible to so many athletes, and is going to help us, grow and grow and grow as you know, women's soccer takes a stronghold in America and abroad. And I would love more than anything to watch this league grow, and we can actually set up like competitions overseas, have teams come over and have exhibition matches which are showcasing the skills of women across the world. I think that'd be really, really wonderful.
Yeah, I love that. That would be so cool.
Be super bad.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's really amazing to be a part of. And thank you so much to everybody who's joined us today, excuse me, on our cup of tea. And we really hope that you've enjoyed finding out the latest news in women's soccer and also what it's been like for us to be a part of the summer of soccer and just how important it really is to players all across the country and even the world. We'd really like to say a special thank you to our partners, the UWS, the UWS2, and also Jonathan Ward for helping us bring the #1 show dedicated to women's soccer to your screens. Please follow the Twitter account. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow our hosts individually to stay up to date with all things women's soccer. And finally, if you want to get involved, tweet at us or email us at ourcupofteawoso@gmail.com because we would love to have you on the show.
Absolutely. And also, one last note, be a part of the summer of soccer. Whether you are playing or whether you're watching, be a part of it because I guarantee you it's going to be so rewarding.
Thank you, guys.